With the new Apex Legends Awakening patch notes, we received some interesting changes to Apex, featuring a new heirloom, a new town takeover, and some balance changes, most importantly to the IMC armories, crafting rotation, and lifeline buffs. But Respawn also announced upcoming changes to the new ranked system coming this next split, and as you know, I've been sharing my opinion on the ranked system as a whole for the last month or so naturally I'm going to cover this as well. Starting off with the ranked split, the split reset is now softer and players aren't sent back as many divisions as they did previously. Masters from Season 13 were sent all the way back to Gold 2, and from this split and onwards, Masters will instead find themselves in Diamond 4, with every rank falling in line accordingly. They're also changing the entry cost for every game, lowering it by 10 RP across all divisions and tiers, essentially making the entry cost for Platinum as cheap as last season's Gold, Diamond is as cheap as Platinum, and so on and so on. The diminishing kill rewards have also changed. In the last split, your first kills were worth about 100%, with the subsequent 3 being worth about 80%, and any kill after that was worth only about 20%. This split eases the RP drop by reducing kill value by 20% for every 3 kills, meaning that the RP reward will go down steadily instead of a sharp decline after 6 kills, leading to the players making 40 to 60 more RP per game in a high kill win, really only seeing diminishing returns after 13 kill points. I did put a Respawn on blast for this in the previous video on the subject, since they advertised it as making kills more worthwhile, but at the same time hamstringing the kill rewards to be less valuable than in any previous rank system. Thankfully, they're putting their money where their mouth is, more on how it will evolve the game later. Finally, they are once again changing the kill tier differences, where you get rewarded more RP for killing players who are in higher tiers. In Season 13, the points difference was decreased to a softer amount to make killing higher level players less rewarding, but they're reverting that change and more to both make the numbers easier to understand, as well as making it more rewarding if you kill a higher ranked team. Since we are getting Platinum players in Predator lobbies, a Platinum player would only get rewarded 200% RP for killing a Predator, and now they get 250% instead. This will make it a little bit easier for them to climb and fill out the lobbies between Platinum and Master. At first, I thought that these changes wouldn't really do much, but now that I'm sitting down and going over the numbers, I'm starting to think that we might see some drastic changes in how teams play the game for the new split. Obviously, we're going to be in World's Edge rather than Storm Point for the next split, so there will be different playstyles anyways, but I'm thinking that we'll either see very fast lobbies, or as I mentioned in a previous video, more passive ones. It all depends on the quality of the matches. Let me explain. In a lobby of equal skill, removing a kill cap wouldn't mean that every team pushes each other. Maybe in the start of the season, sure, but teams will very quickly adapt to the lobbies and switch up their strategies to look for third-party opportunities, seeing as everyone is so greedy for kills, and eventually the teams getting third-partied would realize that they can't really pick the fights they would want to, and instead opt to play more passively and for position. That's because if you hold a position, you will have guaranteed placement points, which are valued even more in a modifier point system, but also almost guarantees kills on teams that are rotating in from the zone from behind you. In short, removing and raising a kill cap accomplishes the opposite and has the chance of turning lobbies a lot sweatier and position-based, which I think is what Respawn wanted to do with Season 13, seeing as they asked pros and high-ranked content creators for their input. If you like those changes, make sure to hit that like button, and if you don't, hit the dislike button, and hey, tell me in the comments. I would love to hear your input. As for me, as I've said before, I think turning the lobby sweatier is good. I don't like that ranked previously has been pubs 2.0 with full Predator and Pro stacks running train on the lobbies like they're stomping pubs without any care in the world. And anything that could turn the games closer to competitive is a good thing, because professional Apex is extremely underrated, especially since it is completely different from the Apex the average casual viewer is used to seeing. If you change the rank to be as close to competitive as possible, it will become a gateway to competitive, where you will see ranked players being picked up for pro teams, and the average player base will learn to enjoy the intricacies of ranked and in turn start tuning into ranked streams, tournaments, and more. We were all worried that the reset would absolutely rock the lobbies again, and a lot of people were advocating to completely removing the split ranked resets. I can see why Respawn chose not to do it, since they want people to still play the game, but I feel that moving you one tier down is a fair middle ground. Keep in mind that while, yeah, Masters get put into Gold 2 this season, turning every game into a melting pot of every different level of play, they normally get put into Plat 2 and grind back in a week or so. We didn't see our first Masters until weeks into the season, when we normally have our 750 Predators in the first week or so. Resetting Masters from Plat 2 to Diamond 4 will make it a lot faster to grind back to Predator on a reset, and make the bottom ranks more fair to play in for lower ranked players, while at the same time giving them a chance to fill out the lobbies, instead of giving us this massive player gap where Platinums, Diamonds, and Predators all were in the same lobbies, leading to Platinum and onward basically being Predator 1, 2, 3, and 4. The decreased entry costs will add up and make it a lot easier to climb in the next split. While Predator isn't really seeing much if any change, any rank below Master will now be able to compete and get a lot more RP out of every single game, especially if you consider that a Platinum 4 player now pays the entry cost that they would have to pay to enter Gold in the last season. 10 points doesn't feel like much on paper, but I'm betting it will be a lot more enjoyable and less soul-crushing to grind, even if you aren't a Predator player. Fixing the diminishing killer turns probably won't do much for the lower ranked players who are about where they belong, but it will allow Predator players who have been reset to quickly climb back if they find themselves in lobbies that are too easy, and as such keep the integrity of the lobbies better with a more equal playing field across the board. To finally drive this home, Respawn also changes the kill rewards in ranked tier differences, meaning if, say, a Platinum or Diamond team goes up against higher ranked teams once or on the regular, they will be rewarded appropriately and climb out of that rank faster. It's safe to say that it's going to be a lot easier to grind RP in Rookie to Master in the coming split. I think it's clear what Respawn wants to accomplish with these changes, which is to keep Predators out of the low to mid-level lobbies and fill those lobbies up, while at the same time giving Predators a chance to have their quality system at the very top as initially intended with Season 13. I'd consider this a small tweak to make sure that the entire player base ends up happy, and who knows, maybe this is what we all needed. But this wouldn't be an Ottr video without a cynic spin, would it? I think that all of these changes are great and address issues from both sides of the community, both high tier and lower level players. They're adjusting the scoring and the points to make the grind feel less soul crushing on a numbers level, but as far as we know, they're not making changes to the largest problem boiling under the surface. And you probably guessed it, I'm talking about the matchmaking. In my latest video on the rank changes, I mentioned how the changes were good and were well received at the very start of the season among most players, but the trust in the system weaned off exponentially as a ranked player base decreased and eventually exposed the underlying problems with ranked, which is that the matchmaker prioritizes queue time over competitive games, finding no issues with placing gold or platinum players up against predators as long as the queues stay under 5 to 10 minutes. There's also rumors about SPMM giving you easy free wins to keep you hooked, but I have no evidence of this. Normally you would only see this in less populated servers, such as on Sao Paulo, but as the player base kept weaning off, even more active servers such as NA or EU started seeing the same phenomenon. We can only guess that there are no changes to the matchmaking because they're changing the tier differences, which could imply that they are band-aid fixing it and rewarding platinums that go against predators, but they're still expecting that to happen enough to be a problem. Respawn also didn't address the matchmaking at all in the patch notes, and as far as I'm aware, the developers haven't spoken about it anywhere such as Reddit or Twitter as well. And I can't stress this enough, I am aware that it's very hard to fill out lobbies because you need 20 teams per lobby, but myself and any other pro I've talked to, except Zach Mazer, would rather have more competitive lobbies with longer wait time than have to have rank be worth nothing. Better ranked means better content, better practice, better viewership for ranked and tournaments, and better pay for everyone involved. But it starts with the matchmaking, not the kill rewards. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you watched it this far, make sure to be like the 30% who watches my videos and hit that subscribe button. If you want to see the 10 worst cheats in Apex history, that video is available on the screen now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.